Some sellers have the ability to make over $10,000 in sales during Amazon Prime Day events. And inside of this video, I will be unveiling for you the exact products, the exact strategies that you can utilize to make the most out of Amazon Prime Day coming up this July. And the most amazing part about all of this is that for the first time ever, Amazon is now going to be running a 4-day Prime event. Now, they usually only run Prime Day events for 2 days, 48 hours, and they usually take place on July 11th and 12th or 12th and 13th. But this year, and this year only, they decided that they're going to be running a 4-day Prime event taking place from July 8th to July 11th, which means that there is even more opportunity than ever before for us Amazon sellers to make as much money as we possibly can in a short period of time. Now, just before I get into the in-depth everything, let's talk about the actual stats behind Prime Day and how Prime Day has performed in previous years and what's expected to happen in this coming year. So in 2024, Amazon Prime Day in July had about $12.9 billion in total sales, which was about a 6% increase from the year prior in 2023. Now, from that $12.9 billion in total sales, about 375 million total products were actually bought during the 48-hour time period. The average order value of the products were about $50, and about 49% of purchases took place on smartphones. And from that $12.9 billion in total sales, the most consistent sales came from product categories like electronics, home and outdoors, tools and home improvement, and home and kitchen as well, alongside a couple of different other ones that I'm going to explain to you later on inside of this video, so make sure you stay tuned. So you might be asking yourself, like, what's the big deal with Prime Day as an Amazon seller? You know, you're probably going to be purchasing products on Amazon during Prime Day because you know that there's heavy discounts. As we know that Prime Day is for a certain duration of time. And what happens during that certain duration of time is people often act with a lot of urgency. And people acting with urgency means that they're making a lot more impulsive decisions comparatively to when Prime Day would not be taking place. And the reason for this is because of two things. One, obviously the limited time, right? So people have this year especially 4 days to be able to purchase products on Amazon that are on heavy discounts, but also supplies are a big thing. So they also want to purchase products to make sure that they can get the best deal possible while that product is still in stock. So you have scarcity and urgency playing into the consumer purchasing behavior during Prime Day, which is what we leverage as Amazon sellers, right? You have people making decisions left, right, and center, and you have an influx of people coming to a platform at one specific duration of time, which means that the more eyeballs we have, the more sales we're going to make. And the point of this video is to explain to you how to position yourself and the products that you need to be selling in order for you to be able to maximize your sales. So let's get into it. Now, as we get into my screen, one of the top performing categories during Prime Day is going to be electronics. Now, the reason for this is very simple, right? A lot of people in today's day and age especially frequently transact with a lot of electronics, and electronics is part of our everyday nature. So what that means at the end of the day is if we take a product like this, some Bose Quiet Bluetooth headphones, taking a look at a couple of data points. Now, thankfully enough, I am using the AMZ Scout extension. So what this does is it gives me a little bit of insight in terms of how the product rank is and the estimated monthly sales that this particular product actually has. So if we zoom in a little bit, we can see here that the estimated monthly sales for this product is about 8,012 times over the last 30 days. Now that's going to be anticipated to increase even further as time progresses onwards, simply because Prime Day, right? So instead of this product being at about, let's say for example, $349, people are probably anticipating and keeping these products in their carts for Prime Day to assume that it might go down to $299, or it might go down to, you know, let's say $305.99. So these are specific things and specific actions that consumers do that allow us to know that they are in fact going to be waiting for these deals. So generally speaking, when a product rank, especially in electronics, has a rank of 194, that is probably one of the best indicators that this product does do significantly well. And when it comes down to it, something that sells 8,000 times over the last 30 days, you can be able to perceive that it will actually start to grow more and more and more during the summertime, and especially during the Prime Day events. Now, after that point, you can also see that we got one of the most staple types of products, just simply because home and kitchen products are day-to-day products. These are products that people don't necessarily need to think about too much, and they're relatively inexpensive as well. So the thing is that when you're focusing on Prime Day, you want to diversify the product offering in terms of what you're selling, simply because you want to get sales from as many different places as you possibly can. So in this specific instance, if we take a look at this Ninja Fit Compact Personal Blender, what I can see here, taking a look at the data, the product rank is actually 30 in home and kitchen in that major category. And as we can see, that the estimated monthly sales from this particular item is about 74,405 times on a monthly basis. So this thing sells numerous different times throughout a day to day. And it just allows you to know that, well, people need blenders, right? I mean, obviously it's summertime, it's a little bit hotter during the days, so people are going to be making more smoothies, more frozen drinks, let's say, for example. And again, it's relatively inexpensive. So when we talk about having multiple different product offers, listing different types of products, it's not only about the product type, but it's also specifically about the price point, right? Because for something like this, let's say, for example, that's a Bose headphones, right? The reason why this sells significantly less, about 8,000 monthly sales comparatively to a product like a Ninja blender that sells 74,000 times, is probably, as you can guess it, just because of the price. So this is what we may consider to be a low ticket item. On the contrary, this is what we can consider to be a little bit of a medium ticket to high ticket item, but these are what can be considered more luxurious goods. So the higher you go in price point with an Amazon item, the less it sells in terms of frequency. But generally speaking, the more dollar amount of profit you make when an item is actually $349 comparatively to something that's $59. You have more wiggle room in terms of profit margins when you have a high ticket item comparatively. If you have a low ticket item like this, you're going to be playing the volume game comparatively to a high ticket space. You're not playing that volume game. And if we continue on with something like a lawnmower, let's say, for example, now, as you can probably guess, lawnmowers, why are people buying lawnmowers? It's the summertime. People are cutting their grass throughout this time of the year. So these are specific things that we want to anticipate consumer purchasing behavior, right? Think about, how are people living their day-to-day lives, and how does that influence the products that they're looking for at the end of the day? So we got this Greenworks cordless lawnmower here. If I scroll down and take a look at the data, we can see that the product rank is about 10,558 in patio, lawn, and garden, and the estimated monthly sales is about 423. Now, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is a bad product to list. This is actually a really good product to list at the end of the day. But the goal is this is not the only lawnmower that Greenworks has available for purchase on the Amazon platform, right? So there's so many different variations that you can be able to look at, right? This one is a 40 volt. Who knows? There might be a 60 volt that's 18 inches, and there might be a 60 volt that's 17 inches as well. So there's so many different routes and avenues that you can be able to take this. But the goal is to be able to make sure that you're building out your web. All right. So the best example I can provide you with is, as an Amazon seller during Prime Day, you think of yourself as a spider. And how spiders, right, live is they build webs. And the bigger their web is that they build, the more bugs that they end up catching. The more bugs that they have, the more they can be able to survive. Your Amazon store is the same concept, right? You as a spider, what your goal is to be able to list anything and everything. Build out your inventory to as much as you possibly can to get sales from so many different places, because the goal is to not have a perfect product. The goal is to have an Amazon store that tests things out and see what the data gives back to you. Remember, we never have to buy products before they sell. So if I want to list a lawnmower, it doesn't cost me anything. I don't have to buy the product in bulk for me to be able to actually sell it on the Amazon marketplace. Only once someone has purchased this product from me, then I go to my supplier, and then I transact and have that product get sent directly to the customer's doorstep upon my behalf. So these are some of the most predominant types of products that you should be selling on Amazon that will allow you to position your storefront in a way that's going to scoop up as many sales as you possibly can, because people are acting with more urgency, and scarcity is playing a role inside of their purchasing behaviors as well. But what if I told you that the actual money that you can make on Amazon is not where everyone's looking? It's actually very, very simple, but a lot of people oftentimes overlook it. So let me explain. So when you go on Amazon, Amazon has this specific part called the best sellers. Now, the best sellers is a specific area in which you can pinpoint what are the top performing products in every single product category that they have available. And pet supplies is one of those product categories that is one of the most slept on. Electronics does really, really well, but the thing is with electronics, it could be hyper competitive. So on the contrary, pet supplies is something that is still on a lower end of things, but can also allow you to be able to scoop up as many sales as you possibly can. And look, at the end of the day, as a dog owner myself as well, I have a 9-month-old Boston Terrier here. I'm willing to pay whatever I need to pay, and I'm willing to spoil this dog by any means necessary. And if I get rewarded with a discount at the same time, then so be it. I'm more than happy to transact with that. So as you can see, right, you've got the essentials of, some sort of dog pads, you've got poop bags as well, you've got little pill pockets here, so little kind of treats as well. So many different things. And at the end of the day, this is what a lot of pet owners don't mind doing. They don't mind purchasing things like this because this is what's going to allow them to ensure like their furry friend is always taken care of at the end of the day. So pet supplies is one of those product categories that a lot of people don't often look at in depth, but there's so much opportunity comparatively to anything else that a lot of people can be able to leverage. And not to mention, to that point as well, a lot of pet owners oftentimes buy things in bulk, right? So they might not ever just purchase, one bag of food or one container of treats, let's say, for example. They might buy multiple at a time, right? And the bulk orders that they place with your Amazon store means that you make more money without them necessarily having to transact with multiple different times or multiple different efforts. Especially, again, considering the urgency, the limited time that is available for Prime Day, people will want to stack up as much as they can before the discounts actually end up running out. And another product category that does significantly well is more about appliances, right? So some of the best selling products within appliances, as you can see at a glance, right? This is the best sellers in appliances is a major category. Ask yourself, why am I only seeing ice nugget machines, right? Why am I only seeing things like fridges or air conditioners, let's say, for example? Again, ice machines as well. What is the consistent theme here in regards to the types of products that I'm seeing? What's the reason behind it? When you think like this, when you ask yourself these types of questions, this allows you to understand what people are actually looking for. And the most simple answer to it all is summertime, right? Things are getting hotter and hotter and hotter by the day. And as things are getting hotter and hotter, not everyone has an ice maker in their fridge. Not everyone has the ability to create the most perfect iced coffees that they want, that's the most Instagrammable. But having nugget ice machines like this can help them do that. And especially during summertime, people do prefer to have their drinks cooled comparatively to having it nice, hot, and run, right? So again, ice machines is another type of product type, I guess you can say, that you can definitely leverage that allows you to ensure that, again, people are looking for products on a deal during Prime Day, and especially when things are a lot hotter throughout any time of the year. We're in the midst of summer at this point during Prime Day especially, so this is what's going to lead them to purchasing products like this. And lastly, also, you have things like patio, lawn, and garden, right? So patio, lawn, and garden, what you'll see with this is these are going to range from multiple different types of products, but they will, generally speaking, cater a little bit more towards like the insects and a little bit more pesticide type products. So as you can see, you've got a lawn and garden pump here, you've got a hose, you've got ant killers as well. You've got different fly traps, some sort of bug control here. We've got temperature cookers as well. So these are the types of things, again, that are anticipating consumer purchasing behavior that we know people struggle with at this current time. Even if you take a look on this right-hand side here, chlorine. Why do people need chlorine? Well, they're frequently transacting with specifically everything in regards to their pools as well. Now, this is something that I covered inside of my mentorship community about 2 weeks ago, because obviously I got to be able to make sure that my students have all the right tools, the right strategies with ample amount of time to be able to prepare. But we have specific things called master hours, which are weekly group live training sessions. Now, these take place every single Tuesday from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. And they're new updated strategies every single week that I provide to the community to help people make more sales. And obviously I can't show you exactly what's inside of this document to give away everything that's inside of my mentorship, but this is the difference that people have that allow them to be able to make sure they have the right tools, they have the right resources to be able to get them exactly where they want to be for their Amazon store. So we've got sales strategies for quick sales, talking about a reverse method. We've got different things like generic listing optimizations, so making sure that your product and product titles are fully optimized for Prime Day. We got Prime exclusive discounts as well. And we talk about all these specific little things to be able to make sure that you can be successful with an Amazon business without guessing too much. And this is exactly what I've done in the last 4 years. Right now, we've been able to help just over 679 people with their Amazon businesses, and people like Abigail, let's say, for example, that just crossed over $20,000 again in her third straight month. We've got people like Christian Van Ham, let's say, that has done over $1.7 million in total sales over the last 30 days with his Amazon store. We also got other people like MJ, where in her first 7 days of starting, she was able to do over $14,000 in total sales from her storefront, and she's a mom of 4 kids as well. And we also got other people like Heather and Ben that have now taken their Amazon store to the point in which they're been able to have his wife quit her full-time job and pursue their Amazon business full-time. So if you want a step-by-step system and you actually want to be mentored by myself personally, because it's exactly how my mentorship program works, go ahead, click the first link in the description down below, go through the application process, and then that way we can see if we can actually help. But you got nothing to lose by applying, and at least you can give yourself a shot. So this coming Prime Day is quite literally going to be an absolute game changer. You're either going to be the person that's going to be buying stuff off of Amazon, or you're going to be the person that's going to be making money on Amazon Prime Day, and you get to choose what exactly you want to be. Okay, it's 4 days instead of 2 days, which means that the opportunity is bigger than ever before. 48 hours is what it used to be. It's now 96 hours, and you got to be able to ensure that you get ready now, right? You can't just the week of Prime Day start going through all these different strategies and start implementing them. You got to be able to make sure that you're preparing yourself, because if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And if you don't know how to plan accordingly, then like I told you, click the first link in the description down below to be able to get my personal help to help you get to exactly where you want to be this summer. So now with Prime Day being July 8th to July 11th, the time is quite literally right now. My mentorship students are already prepared. They're the ones that are going to absolutely crush it, and you can too if you take everything I mentioned to you and you actually put it into practice at the end of the day. So it's up to you. Are you going to execute with an actual proven plan, or are you just going to scramble, cross your fingers, and hope for the best? And I can tell you one thing, over the last 4 years of running my mentorship program, the ones that do significantly well are the ones that simply take action at the end of the day. Because action is an indicator that someone's going to be successful with their Amazon business. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like this video, comment down below what categories you're going to be focusing on for Prime Day, and let me know exactly what your goal is in terms of revenue amounts that you want to be able to achieve. Like I said again, if you want to be a part of the mentorship program that's been able to help over 679 people at this point, click the link down below to be able to book a free strategy session, and I'll see you all in the next one.